Hello, and welcome to another episode in the Motor House where I'm restoring cars. Specifically, this one is another episode on the 7. I'm going to be breaking away real soon in this video to show you my latest trip to Quicksilver to get an update on the engine for the 7. Now, what you're seeing in front of you here are just some plaques starting in 1968. My dad loved to go to car shows. And we had a lot of cars growing up, and this is what we did with my brothers and my sister. So, some very old plaques from 68 through 75, I think, is what's here. Next, I guess, Quicksilver. Hello, and I've made a stop over at Quicksilver Engines in order to get an update on the 907 engine for the 7, and you can see the good set, because we had two different sets of cam covers. The better set has been painted and now just has to be cut. The fins need to be cut to expose it. The crank has been done. Everything else is pretty much good. I still have to balance everything. It's in good shape there. Those are just my old tools. Let's go around to the other side. Oh, on I don't know if I mentioned this before on the pan, but I don't remember if the other 900 series had baffles in them. I don't remember if I've seen them before, but I guess this one does. But I don't remember seeing that in other pans. So let's go over to the other side here of the bench. Auto tensioner has been stripped down, old parts, new parts to rebuild it. Distributor has been rebuilt and ready to go. Everything else is just getting cleaned up. Water pump still needs to be done. Cams are all cleaned up. Cam towers, rather, are cleaned up and ready to go. New pistons, new liners. Let's see if I see new liners over there. Through there, if you see them. And I will get over and show you the head. I'm good. I'm good. Back over at the bench, the brand new pistons. And these were, we had to wait to get them made because they didn't have them in stock. So that was most of the time it took waiting to make progress. But brand new. That was Quicksilver. And now that the pistons are in, which that took about 6 weeks, which was a large delay in getting progress. And it was all because the pistons had to be made. So that is why it's taken so long for, we'll say, progress. And now that they have everything, they're moving forward, which is great. Now let's back to the rear suspension, or let's get to the rear suspension. That's about a better way to put it. Okay, the mounts here for the arms, basically these, go in here. Okay, one-handed, yep, nicely like that, does it. Okay, so I'm going to point out something. This space here between that edge and this bend, and you can pick that up there. Now, let's go to the other side. This side was remade by Michaels when they did all the framework. And they probably didn't realize it at the time, but they didn't leave a gap. I have no doubt that this is in the right place, but they should have gone further down and then bent, because this does not fit in there. Let's just say that lip right there is a problem. It's a problem right there. So what I found is that I can grind away a little bit of this. I had an old, a bent up one, and I can get it to fit. It's got to get some bending. It's a little bit of a modification on the bottom, and it will make it. So, I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And of course, these arms are on, and I think the shimming is accurate. I'll basically verify it once the axle is up in place. So, oh, shocks. Let's talk about shocks, because I've been racking my brain to come up with something. Probably if you've been watching, you've seen the original thing of the shocks when the chassis came back from repair. These are the replacement spec shocks for it. Problem with the length is if you put the regular long spring, the rear end stays up very high in the air. You can try to get a spring that has lower and lower pounds rating, but it compresses too much. The ride height has to really compress this down, and you don't get much travel. So it was suggested to me from the shop there that go with the shorter spring here, that when the coils collapse, they won't get coil bound. I guess that's the best way to describe what it was before, is the coils would bind up because there was no place left for them to go. But with this gap here, if I was to go over a rise or something and I get too much travel here, then there's nothing holding this retainer in. So this has been bugging me for a while, trying to think of what am I going to do? How am I going to keep this retainer in place? As long as the car is basically on the ground and it's got weight. But if it was to hit a hill, something, pothole, whatever, and expand this just to where it's lower than this cap could come loose and then come off, and then that's a world of hurt for the car. So I've come up with an idea. I'll go over here. If I take, and let me grab the other one over here real quick. Pardon the messy bench. Basically, I'll just set that right there. Basically, if I drill down here, and then on either side, because this is better, because we're think about how much room you got to drill down, and I make a hole in here, tap this, because this would be corresponding to there. Tap this, I could thread 632, 832 machine thread into this, and it would hold this up. And no matter what happened, it wouldn't drop. And if I ever have to take it apart, I can just pull them and drop it out. And if there was a problem with the threads, I could just take a chisel, knock the heads off, and I could still get them to drop out, and then fix it from there. So that's my idea of how to fix that. Getting to the rear suspension. Okay, the left is on. That's all set. And of course, it's not 100% tightened up yet, because I want to get everything in position before I do final tightening. Working on the right, had to do that as mods, and I painted that mount and waiting for it to dry before doing anything with it. These are set in place, and let's go with the other arm here. Made up just a 1/2-inch bolt in order to compress the bushings in, and it is difficult getting them to stay in. I do think there may be it's going to be tough to get, let's say, it's going to be tough to get these in because the amount of space for the mounts on the axle is a bit small. So let's see if I can go over this. Let me switch hands here. All right. So what I've got here, let's see how it comes out. Let's see. Okay, 1768. 1768. Then if I come over here to what, let's see, 1768, you can see there's, it just isn't, sorry for the shake here, I'm trying to do this with the different hand. Let's try if I do it this way. So, you can see it's tight, real tight. If I take off, hold on, it's going to require, will it require two hands? That's usually the biggest thing, is does it require two hands? Okay, so we were at, how do I do this? Left hand does not do well for this. Okay, it was 178, and now we are more like 2. I can compress it and get there. It'll just be compressing it to get down to that point. It could work. You just have to get it in there. It's the rubber that I think will be the issue. But it's going to be tight to get done. I'll say that. So I did put a little bit of, a small little bit of grease on the inside, which helped this rubber come in because it was not wanting to move in there well. I did find that was the issue. Also took a good bit of sandpaper, take the paint off. Any little bit helps. Because this one seemed to be, there were lines, like scores in the sides. Remember, that's also the one that had those nylon bushings in it. And I didn't like the nylon at all. Everything stuck. So, alright. Well, moving along. Let's see if I can get, see how dry the paint is on this one. Okay. Okay. That's still a little tacky, so I will just let it dry till tomorrow. But you can see what I had to file away in order to make it fit. Also had to take a little bit off of this edge here. That's the modification I had to do to get it to fit in. The other thing I will have to do is, I think I brought this up before. So, this is a 1/2 inch hole. The bolt, reach over here, grab. Okay. The bolt that goes through there is 7/16. So, 7/16 into a 1/2 inch hole, there's a lot of slop. So what I have here are, these are bushings that I can press in there and bring it down to 7/16 and give it a nice snug fit. That's what I'm doing. All right, so I'll add a little more to this video after the paint dries on that part. Well, anything look different? Aha, rear suspension. Yep. Rear suspension is hanging. There's still a few tweaks. So, but I'll give a good look through of the suspension and go over a couple of things after that. But it's on. Okay, some things I did, some mods. I was concerned about these being too loose. So you might see the screw. There's 2 of them actually. Let's see if I come back a little bit better. Yep, okay. Drilled through the top plate, into the bottom, tapped the bottom. They are A32s. So that's done. Okay. Let's go over a few other things. We walk back to the other side. I still have to tighten things up, considering whether or not to get shorter bolts for these. I'm thinking. Also considering, let me show you this first. All right, let's see. Maybe this is a better angle. Can I get a better angle down here? Okay, if you see the height of the flange here, and where the drive shaft is going to come in. Granted, this is at its lowest. The suspension is at its lowest point. Well, we'll say it's lowest point dropped, extended point. That's a better way for me to describe it. It's most extended point, and I think it'd be very rare for it to ever get there to that extension. But should it? Will the drive shaft probably, I don't guarantee this, but I'm just going to say it might hit in here, which I don't like that. Granted, the shocks are still the same length. Granted, same, if it could have happened on before, yeah, it could have happened with the old shocks and the old car and the way it does, but I'm thinking ahead. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to think ahead and consider something. What if? What if a limit strap, if I put it from here to there, a little shorter, put a limit strap in so it couldn't get to this extreme amount, just in case. I know, it's not original to the car. Am I thinking about it? Yes. Still thinking. I'll have to decide whether it's going to work or not. So, brake line. All right. This is the old brake line. And, of course, you can see where it pop riveted there. And the rivets here and here. And I don't think it was bent up like this. And we have a repair that I don't like in it. I want to get rid of. I believe it... Let's see if I can do this better. I believe it bent around, came up along here, and then the flex part there. The flex part ended up going over to here to this mount, and then a rigid to the T, brand new T I got, and then it split off to both axles. The T and all that was missing, so I don't have any reference to say this is what it's supposed to look like. I'm kind of working it out the best I can. I'm thinking, if this line cleans up, cut it before the repair. Keep it bent over here. Turn it up, come over this way. And then change it over to a flex line over here. And I've got a longer flex line coming. And see how that works. It's kind of something I'm considering doing. Or just from about where it is, straighten up a little bit and have it come from here over to there. I got a flex line the same length as the front coming, which is longer than the one that's there. So it's an option. I've got a couple other ideas. Brake lines. Well, I want brake lines. Let's look at the front. All right. I have cleaned up, sanded, and painted the front brake lines. Let's see, we got that one. And they came out pretty well. So they have 3 coats. They have a rust converter on them. After I sanded them down, any little bit of rust, I put a converter on it, and then primer, then finish paint. Same paint, satin black as the chassis. So, I'm still looking for the correct set up on the gas. What else? What else do I want to impart? Made some new bolts for up here. It's kind of, I know it's been a while since I put a video out. I've been busy doing some stuff here and there. Put a lot of new hardware on. These bolts, I had something too short and something too long in the way of these half-inch bolts. So I got the correct ones in. Then on the lathe, I made a little point because they go all the way through into the tube that holds the rollover bar, and that's what holds the bar in. So, all right, and things coming up. I've got, let's see, I gotta dig it out here. Okay, see how it comes out. This is the rubber grommet from RD that goes here, and now that I have the grommet, I can figure out what size to make the band and remake the band and weld it on for the grommet. Now, grommet basically hold a solid rod for the emergency brake, and it runs through here and then all the way over to here. But I do believe that's kind of critical to keep it from bending and such, and it's supposed to be there, and I don't know why it ever got whacked off. That's cut off. But say, I didn't have the car then. The friend I got the car from, he didn't do it. It's way back somewhere in California where all this happened. So we do the best we can with it. Okay. I will say the bushings that I put in here to bring it from 1/2 inch down to 7/16 worked out really well. So I'm happy with that, very happy. And everything's seems like it's in alignment. Of course, till it's on the ground, I can't, and got weight and everything else, we can't pull strings and check real alignment on it. But so far, it's looking pretty good. And all the bushings are in. I do have to, let's say, like down here, I got to tighten it up so the bushing goes in. But the rear suspension is on, and it's hanging. So, moving on, I guess the brake lines will be next. The little copper tabs. Let's see, let me go over here. See if I can. Well, it's going to be easier to do it this way. All right. See the little copper strap that's holding the thing I'm on? So that is what secures the brake lines on this car. And I've taken off and kept all the ones from the front. And I'll take these off. I've got to clean them up, so get the corrosion off them. They'll corrode in time again, but I just like to start off with them clean and then start mounting everything back. So I can get the front lines on. We'll go from there. Yeah, progress. Lots of good progress. Okay, sorry if it's taken a while to get a video out. Other things are going on. Car shows, other repairs that need to get done. You know, housework. Mow the lawn. All the normal things of life. And we get back to this as we can. And I had to tuck the Elan away. So, good progress. Good progress being made. Thanks for watching.